sentenced to multiply. We'll triage on down to only those features that simply maintain human population. We can crowd out the threatened species that do not enhance our own survivability. It's possible to squeeze out a bit more farmland by clearing those last marginal habitats, and let our madly growing numbers remain our unspoken and most basic human right. We can crowd together in sprawling unplanned slums, poisoning each other's air and water, economies of scale blindly sliding ever more of us towards some globalized fatal brink. We can monocrop with genetically modified and sterile seed to feed the writhing masses. Verily, all of our one true gods bless our efforts to give birth to as many children as we wish. But deserts would not encroach if the hillsides did not crawl with firewood gatherers. Global warming would not threaten us without 8 billion immortal souls burning fossil fuels. If so many did not desire tigers, tuna, and ivory, it would reduce their profitability. But we are condemned to fruitfulness and sentenced to wildly over-reproduce. A few toxic pollution hotspots would not so endanger a vastly smaller population. Without so many customers, we would not have to build our meat like automobiles. Our bread need not be forged in factories and delivered in giant, dirty semi-trucks. But our corporate masters demand hordes of wage slaves and a vast consumer market. Third world children would not grow up assembling luxuries they can never hope to enjoy. Maybe we could even give each and every one of our fewer children special attention. Smaller towns and villages might reduce the awful crimes bred of urban anonymity. But which fascist racist will you permit to dictate how many children you are allowed? With far fewer consumers, perhaps resource wars would not be so wholly obligatory. Increasing numbers lead unsustainably to food pills and cardboard homes for most. A smaller human footprint would reduce our clumsy collateral environmental damage, but only the butchers and the sadists even consider overpopulation a social problem. Note well how petri dish microbes increase wildly, only to then crash to tiny levels. See how our vast numbers consume even renewables at non-renewable rates. Calculate our ever-increasing population's dependence on irreplaceable resources. Yet the fruit of His living word decreases directly with the 750,000 new souls born every day. Our very numbers allow politicians to dangle false choices between family and habitat. We might even leave more than debts to the future if fewer of us were consuming right now. But with more for fewer, the hopelessness that feeds fundamentalism might even just disappear. But we cannot go there for fear of losing our precious humanity and our everlasting souls. There is not one global problem a smaller population would not help us to alleviate. Perhaps less than 90% of those living would not have to subsist on $1 a day. Of course, any and all population control is simply a form of totalitarian, atheistic genocide. Though scientists say our numbers will stabilize soon, we are already unsustainably far too many.